Hi, this is Naeem Hussain, and today I'd like to share 5 important tips for learning English language effectively. Let's start. Number 1, when you want to learn English language, then before starting learning it, make sure you have a strong why. You have a strong reason. Because when people do not have any strong reason or any strong why, then after starting the journey, they will stop it within very short time because they will not get that fuel to learn it or to continue this learning. So people who have a strong why, who have a strong reason for learning English language, naturally they become successful. So before starting your English language learning journey, make sure you have a strong why. Now, you may ask me, what kind of why should we have? It depends actually on you completely. But if I want to give you some idea about this, then I could say maybe you were learning it for studying abroad. Maybe you were learning it for doing a job in multinational companies. Maybe you want to do freelancing job in the future. Maybe you want to study or you want to live abroad. So, maybe these are the reasons for learning English language. Maybe you may have many other reasons too, but please make sure you have very strong why. And your success will depend on the size of your why. If you have big why, if you have big reason for learning English language, trust me, you will be successful. Without having why, it will be just the wastage of your time. Believe me. Number 2, after having a strong why, the next thing that you have to make sure or you have to be careful of, that is, for learning any language in the world, not only for English language learning, for any language in the world, you have to make mistakes. And it's so important for any learner to know that without making mistakes, English language learning is quite impossible. If you don't want to make mistakes and if you are afraid of making mistakes, trust me, you will never be able to learn a language. You will never be able to learn English language even, right? Think about yourself. How did you learn Bangla language or how did you learn your own language? You learned it by making millions of mistakes. Like, when you were a child at the time, you couldn't even pronounce a word correctly. All right. So after pronouncing a word, you add two words and try to make a small phrase of the sentence, and then you just try to make a full sentence, and it took a lot of time. And for making a complete sentence, you made millions of mistakes in your childhood. So when you are learning English language, and if you think that you are not interested to make mistakes, trust me, you will never be able to learn it effectively. So you have to be very careful of it that for learning English language, you are going to make a lots of mistakes, and it's not a big deal. It's very natural and very normal. Number 3, after having this very perception, now you have to go through the process. And for learning any language, I think vocabulary is a big threat for anybody, I think. So, if I ask maybe you or ask anybody that why you are not able to speak in English, then I think 99% of the students will answer that, okay, we have a big problem and that's vocabulary. But I think it's wrong. You don't have any problems regarding vocabulary. Rather, you have a very different problem regarding vocabulary, and that is application of the vocabulary. You don't know how to apply the words. You are not interested to apply the words. You just focus on the meaning of the words. So when you focus on the meaning of the words, or when you memorize the meaning of the words, it will not help you to speak in English language effectively or write in English language effectively. So what do you have to do? Whenever you learn a word, just try to use that word in different sentences, or try to make different sentences by using that simple word. So when you will be able to use a word in different perspectives or different purposes, then I think you will be confident enough about vocabulary, and vocabulary will not be a problem for you to speak in English. So vocabulary is not actually a problem. We all have lots of vocabulary. We all know lots of word meanings, but we don't know how. So this is a fact, and this is a point where we need to focus. So from today, try to use the words that you know. And number 4, grammar. People are so afraid of grammar. They think grammar is difficult, but do you know? Grammar is not actually difficult. Grammar helps us to make sentences. Grammar helps us to understand sentences. Grammar is not invented for making a language difficult. Rather, it is invented for making a language useful and effective. So why you are afraid of, grammar? It has no sense. So the problem is we always try to memorize the structures and rules and regulation of grammar. We don't focus on the application of grammar. So if you want to learn English grammar, or if you want to be good at English grammar, then you have to focus on the usage of the grammar. Whenever you learn a structure, try to make sentences by using that structure, maybe 10 sentences, 15 sentences, 20 sentences, or 30 sentences. It depends on you guys. If you like, whatever the number it is, it doesn't matter, but you have to use it. You have to make sentences by applying grammar. When you will be able to apply grammar, then English language is nothing but just a piece of cake for you. So trust me, if you know how to use grammar, then English language is just fun. And finally, the thing that I'd like to mention today, and that is practice. Maybe it's not that appropriate. I'd like to say it. Consistent practice. If you want to learn anything in the world, you have to practice it, but consistently. I don't want to suggest you to practice English one day for 24 hours. No. Rather, I will tell you, practice 2 hours every day, but for 12 days. And that will be 24 hours after 12 days. It will be more effective than practicing 24 hours in a day. So you have to fix a time every day when you will practice it. And if you practice it for, what can I say, for a long time, consistently, it will tremendously help you to become fluent in English speaking and writing. So do practice it every day. Trust me, it will tremendously change you. It will tremendously change your art of speaking, your fluency, your confidence, and it will give you courage. So if you want to learn English language, and if you think that you will, practice it whenever you want, and if you feel like, okay, fine, I don't have any mood, I don't want to practice it right now, it will not help you. You have to set a target. Maybe you could say, okay, for the next 30 days, or maybe for the next 60 days, or 90 days, or 100 days, I will consistently practice English for 2 hours every single day. Trust me, it will radically change your art of speaking, your fluency, your confidence, your courage, your expertise, your knowledge. So do practice English consistently. So these are the 5 steps that you can follow for learning English language effectively. And I think if you guys follow this, it will help you a lot to be a good English speaker in the future. So that's all for today. Thank you very much. Goodbye.